Hey guys, Infiniti here. And even though this video says live, I did not go live. I'm doing this just to make it easy and quick on myself for uploading. So anyway, welcome to the first video of the Stargate Tarot and Oracle for the 11/11 2019 Stargate. This is super exciting. This gate is like no other. The Pillars of Creation gate, we have so much going on that day, 11/11, but the Stargate lasts for 10 full days, and we've already started feeling the energies for at least the last 3 to 5 days, depending on who and what you are and what's going on with you in your ascension process and how you're filtering in and taking care of or dealing with energies, transmuting, downloads. Also, we had the time change. So there's a lot going on in this time frame. On Monday, we also have the full moon, and Mercury transits the sun, which only happens 13 times in a century. It's really rare, and most of the world will be able to see this if they want to. It's similar to an eclipse. It's not as large. It's just a little dot that'll pass by, but you could take a look at Google, do a search for that, and look into it if you're being called to do that. So let me explain how this is going to work. Okay, so first of 3 videos, we're separating the astrological signs not by fire, water, air, earth. We're separating them by the quadrants of the year. And we're starting with this quadrant that we're in right now. We're not quadrant, but quadrants are 4. We're taking four months and we're turning them into 3 sections. So it's not really quadrants. Quadrants are 4. We're doing 3. So in the first set, we're doing Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So we're going from encompassing all of the astro signs for that group, for divine feminine, divine masculine. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go through Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Next video, we're going to do Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Next video, we're going to do Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra. And with each of these signs, we're going to do one reading for divine masculine and one reading for divine feminine. And I will maybe do a combined one or just look in and see what we get. It just kind of depends on what happens. I've never done anything like this before. Normally I do one reading for the Light Body Collective for any of the major days or stargates, but this time is totally different, and it continues to be different. Let me continue to explain. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 oracle decks. I've got the Angels of Abundance, the Archangel Oracle, the Dragon Fae Oracle, and the Fairy Oracle by Brian Froud. I have the Shadowscapes Tarot, the Wild Unknown Tarot, and I have a regular deck of playing cards we're just going to get numbers for at the very end. So this is what we're going to do. I know it's a lot of decks for each one. You're going, holy cow. Well, what we're going to do is just get one card from each deck. So we're going to have 2 tarot cards, 4 oracle cards, and 3 number cards for divine feminine, divine masculine, for each of the signs. All right, so here we go, getting into Scorpio. This is we're going to start with divine feminine, and this is for signs for Scorpio, which is a water sign, and I'm going to read also. I decided to do this. We're going to read about the different signs as we get into them. So water signs, and I'm reading directly from astrologyzodiacsigns.com. It's a really great Great website, so check it out. I'll put the link in the description. If I forget, remind me. So water signs, it says, are exceptionally emotional and ultra sensitive. They are highly intuitive and they can be as mysterious as the ocean itself. Water signs love profound conversations and intimacy. They rarely do anything openly and are always there to support their loved ones. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So this is going to be our water sign in this set of the year. So we're, like I said, we're splitting up the year into 3 sections with the 4 different signs. So the first one is the water sign of Scorpio. Next one is the fire sign of Sagittarius. Next one is the earth sign of Capricorn. And then the next one is the air sign of Aquarius. And this is how it goes throughout with each of them. It goes water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, with the 3 different sections, starting with Scorpio. So we're going to get into this. First card we're going to get or pull from, or deck we're going to pull from, I should say, to get our first card is the Archangel Oracle. So that's what that looks like. And I'm just getting one card. If more than one card falls, I'm either just going to pick a card or I am going to put it back and then shuffle. So give me just a second. This is for
fragrance my whole life, and it's the favorite part of my beauty routine. That's the reason why I created it.
Sorry about that. I thought I put on a really long video. Weird. Okay, sorry about that. I was like, I'm hearing voices. It's different than usual. All right, so here we go. So we're going to get our cards for the Divine Feminine for Scorpio. This is for the Light Body Collective, Scorpio Divine Feminine for the Stargate 1111 through 1122. Of course, it encompasses days before, little days after, but these are messages directly for Divine Feminine, Scorpio. Oh boy, we're going to take this one right here, even though more fell. We're just taking one. Got a bunch that popped. First one is Archangel Michael with crystal clear intentions. So be very intentional. Archangel Michael says, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. Always cool when Michael shows up right from the start. So there he is. So crystal clear intentions, Divine Feminine, Scorpio. Okay, next we're going to go to Angels of Abundance. And happy belated birthday. Or it's still in that, we were still not belated. You could still have a birthday. I was thinking 10/23. It goes for a month. We're still in there. So this is your Stargate. A lot is going on with Scorpio at this time. A lot of growth, a lot of transformation. Some of you may be getting sick. Just if you're feeling that flu, that cold thing kind of coming up, and I do know that's a definite for, I mean, people could say, oh yeah, well, that's just happening everywhere. Yeah, okay, fine. Please watch my video titled Ascension Flu. Is the flu, or is it not Ascension Flu? It's called oh gosh, what's the video? I'm spacing. It's what the flu really is. It's not, a lot of the times it is not actually a contagion, a flu of that nature. A lot of the times it is an energetic situation, a lot of transmutation. And because it's directly related to all your chakras, it's just expelling a lot of energy. So it comes out in head congestion and sore throats and chest congestion and upset stomachs and diarrhea and all that stuff. If you correlate those to your chakras, that's what it is. And when it's contagious and it's running through a home, let's say, or an office, it's because after I've energetically dumped, you're going to want to energetically dump, whether you're conscious of that or not. And a lot of people, this will happen once a year, and it's usually within the 11 through the next year's one gateways, stargates, because this is when you're just like going through this force field. And if you're carrying too much negative energy, you're not going to be able to go through it. So your body's like, oh, we got to dump. So you'll just dump a bunch of nights. It's a spontaneous detox is what it's called. So you'll spontaneously detox, and it's looked at like a cold or a flu. And it is, but it's an energetic issue. And that's just a real indication that you're not regulating your own energy effectively. So it builds up and it needs to dump. And so there's something off there. If that is happening, something is off. Okay, so the abundance card that you got, visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. Both of these cards are extremely similar to each other. Crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So it's visualization, focusing on what you want, what you desire. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what we desire. What do you really want? And first you got to figure that out. What do you really want? And then you've got to say, that's what I want. And I'm focused on it with unwavering faith, crystal clear intentions, and then visualize abundance in all forms. So visualize whatever you visualize eventually becomes reality. So hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And this is what you will experience. So it's just kind of like driving this home. If you find yourself thinking negatively, worried, stressed, and this could be about personal things, about global things, about economy, about weather, about fires, about earthquakes, about your health, about other people, about all sorts of stuff. If you're worried about anything, you need to check yourself and remind yourself or get conscious about what you're doing and focus on really positive things. Focus on things that you do want. Focus on the way you want your friendships, relationships, your work, your travel, your health, your evolution, this sort of stuff. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to the Wild Unknown Tarot. So there's the Wild Unknown Tarot. Again, we're just getting one card. This is for the Divine Feminine for Scorpio. Want to welcome in our spirit tribe, one and all, for everybody who may be watching this video at any time. Please check in with yourself, with your divine counterparts on the other side, just across the veil from you, sitting there with you, always with you. There we go. Look at that. The moon. Directly talking about this Stargate, guys. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I'm here. We're going to be experiencing fluctuations in energy, possibly palpitations of the heart, not to get too worked up or stressed about that. There's just a lot of incoming energies coming in, you guys. So seriously, this is it's going to be intense. And it has been. And I've even felt like reality was tilted. And it wasn't because my glasses were on funky. But I was like looking at stuff and I'm like, everything feels tilted. And it's because we're going through this Stargate. And it doesn't just like, oh, it's happening one day. It's like it begins to come through. And for those of us that are really in tune and really connected so deeply with our planet, Gaia, Mother Earth, our great mother, like I am, I feel this super intensely. And I also feel for the collective being what I am. And first thing I heard with this, you guys, was there's gonna be energy fluctuations and also emotional fluctuations. There might be a lot coming up for releasements right around then, and different things may trigger you. Let's see. Okay, there is a closing of a gap with some people. Like there's been a wall up for you. So what I'm seeing is a deeper connection with your own soul self coming up, and just like a surrendering to kind of this amazing, crazy ascension, fantasy, magical life that you, if you're going to go this way, this route, this really intense light worker journey of connecting with your soul self, there's a lot to let go of and a lot to allow to come in and be open to, because you know, on a soul-based level, as you're integrating, as you're connecting, as you're remembering, as there's synchronicities, as things keep coming up into your consciousness and your awareness from conversations that you're having with maybe other people, or that you're witnessing maybe on the internet through videos or podcasts, or reading blogs or posts on social media. There just seems to be this a theme, and it's about surrender. It's about letting go. It's about releasement and healing and coming into a new place. And that's, this card is really showing a more unified like coming together. If you can see these trees kind of reaching for each other, and I just got this visual of that just kind of getting closer. So there's a coming together in yourself, with your soul, with your divine feminine aspect, getting more into balance. Whereas it's been a little out of balance, I think even for the divine feminine, it's been a lot of maybe more, not that you're not feminine, but holding back of more femininity or more of the emotional side. And as you're coming into alignment with your soul self, you can't hold that back. If once you start to really get in tune with your soul self, whatever you are, you become an a much more in tune, emotional person, because you feel so much more and you're living in your authenticity and your truth. So you're just naturally, your walls of defense mechanisms and not being able to unplug and wall up and pretend that you're not emotional or get through situations that, you know, you can ignore or be in denial about your emotions or stuff your emotions or any of those things are definitely coming down. And this also means that there's going to be things that are coming up that still have yet to be dealt with and transmuted. So all of that is happening there, and it's really being punctuated with the full moon, with the Stargate, and this, it just, the first thing I heard was fluctuations in energy, and to be aware of that. If you can journal or vlog or blog or whatever to try to keep some type of understanding of everything that's coming up and how to connect the dots through this Stargate and beyond, that would be a really good thing for you to do. Maybe start making videos on your own channel, just a daily, this is what happened today, and keep it all private for yourself if you don't want to share it. I've really been thinking about doing that for myself, maybe making it part of my podcast, maybe not. But it's really cathartic, and it helps to talk, even if it's just to yourself and to a camera and nobody's ever going to watch it, or maybe someday they will, or maybe you're going to publish it right then and there, or whatever. That's just something that and also if you've been thinking about it. So I'm kind of getting that there will be people who are going to be watching this video or are going to be like, yeah, I've been thinking about that. And that's definitely something I should be doing. And this Stargate's a great time to start. Okay, moving on. These are not supposed to be very long. 2233, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, I just saw as I'm being told to move on. Oh, my stomach is already growling because I did barely eat today, but I do have my smoothie here. It's just been a really crazy, kind of a crazy day. Okay. So again, this is, oh, and this is the Starscapes. Let me show you. This is the there we go. The Starscapes Tarot. Oh, look at that. 10 of Swords in reverse. When I set this up to get on to start doing videos, I was starting to clear cards, and like a card popped, and then I was told to keep it and go through the whole thing. And this is exactly what I got in my, and it's on the very bottom of what I just saw it, because I just saw it like a half hour ago or whatever. And it got my attention because I just saw it again. 10 of Swords in reverse. Anyway, have to acknowledge it. Okay, it's not supposed to be your card. Just me seeing it again. And it's really cool because that means spiraling out of control, things getting really dismal and bleak, really negative, all this stuff. Because it's in reverse, it's the exact opposite of that. Coming out of the darkness, coming into the light and all that stuff. So just FYI. Just really driving that home. And I can feel that because it has been pretty dark and I'm ready for some light. And the 1111 Stargate, I just see pillars of light. Pillars of light. That's all I see when I see this. And I'm so excited to do the astral meditation. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. So that'll be up and ready for 1111 wherever you are. And there we go. There's our card. Sometimes it feels like I can shuffle forever. And sometimes it feels like I can barely pick up the deck and there's your card or cards. Okay, what do we got here? 3 of Pentacles. No, we're not in reverse, I'm hearing. Even though it came up in reverse, I always check in to make sure. And we're not in reverse. 3 of Pentacles, beautiful card. There's a little chameleon there. I've been seeing a lot of chameleons lately, really getting my attention. I drew one the other day. 3 of Pentacles from the the Shadow Escapes Tarot. Okay, so what I'm hearing with this is definitely more, we've got, again, this moon. No, it's supposed to be a pentacle, but it's also a moon in there. You see that crescent moon in there. We have a couple here, the divine masculine holding up the divine feminine as she is holding these stars, the pentacles. With the chameleon there. I've got another symbol here. It's tiny, but it is there. Showing it's on her shoulder. Can you see that? It's on her shoulder, and it is it's a sun symbol. But what I'm feeling again with this is Stargate. So more, because I mean, look at this. If you see, look at these cards facing each other. I was just told to look at that myself, with the crescent moon facing that way, the crescent moon facing that way. And it almost looks like she and, oh, God, that is trippy as shit. Because I'm looking at this card and I'm like, what are they looking at? This is just really weird. It feels like they're up against a wall or looking outside, and it just, the context for what they're looking at just doesn't seem like where his head is, where she's at, what she's like, her pentacles are here and she's looking this way, and it just looks really odd to me. If you can see that. And it also looks like they're like up against a wall. It's confusing, but as soon as it's really weird, as soon as you put these two next to each other, it all of a sudden seems to make more sense. Like they're looking out a window at the moon and the trees. Like, look at him, like looking, and her looking. Doesn't it look like that? It really does. So anyway, it's about being aware of what's going on, in balance with your soul family, and being open with what's happening in your world and the world. And it's like there's so many different realities happening at the same time. And this is about kind of bringing those two, again, with this card kind of coming together. But when you put these two together right next to each other, it's just, there's something about that. There's just really something about that. Told to move on. We'll circle back to that. Okay, next we're going to take from the Fairy Oracle. And we're going to welcome in our Fae, our elementals. wherever they may be and be from, and however we may be connected to them. Whether or not we've had incarnations in their realms or been a fae ourselves in any incarnations, and or not, we're still connected to the fae realm as humans once we incarnate here. So you're connected to the fae realm regardless of your history, however you want to see time. Okay, here we go. Take this card here. This is Epona's Wild Daughter, card number 54. And I'm going to go right to the book with Epona's Wild Daughter. There we go. One page over. Epona's Wild Daughter. Okay, I'm going to read directly from here, okay? Inner shadows, nightmare, depression, madness, growth. In the bleakest part of the night, Dorcha comes wearing her crown of fairy stars. She kneels on the ancient owl, bearer of the hidden wisdom of the night, and facing into the past with a clear, unflinching gaze, she holds us. We are held immobile, inwardly focused by her comforting yet implacable. Why can't I read this word? Her comforting yet implacable, light-filled hands. I am just moving on. She asks riddles that often seem impossible to answer at first, and yet she will not let us go until we find the solution within ourselves. I think that's supposed to say, oh, whatever. I'm moving on. Sorry, it's bugging me. She is one of the great teachers of fairy, but her method of teaching makes Socrates' questions look like child's play. We must expect this of Dorcha because her lessons are about the shadow sides of ourselves, the things we fear, our insecurities, self-doubts, and denial. She is a practitioner of tough love therapy. Dorcha is the wild daughter of Epona, lady of the horse and of the moon. And she takes us through the dark, hidden side of ourselves and into healing and fulfillment. From the temporary madness of rage, premenstrual tension, or great stress to the deeper and longer psychoses, she drives us on the journey through our internal hells. I'm going to read that again. From the temporary madness of rage, premenstrual tension, or great stress to the deeper and longer psychoses, she drives us on the journey through our internal hells. When we complete the journey, we are transfigured and transformed, transcending our old selves. We can never be frightened by that darkness again, whether our own or that of others. But until that journey is fully complete, we exist in a state of vulnerability, which is where most of us are most of the time. Notice, please, that it is she and not her more gentle sister, Laced, who wears the crown of stars, a mark of service, compassion, and great wisdom. Dorcha's element is moonlight, the fifth element, which tempers and tests the spirit. Through her teaching, our inner conflicts and struggles become, as they are resolved, our greatest strengths. I'm going to read that again. Notice, please, as I show you her beautiful crown of stars. Notice, please, that it is she and not her more gentle sister, Laced, who wears the crown of stars, a mark of service, compassion, and great wisdom. Dorcha's element is moonlight, the fifth element, which tempers and tests the spirit. Through her teaching, our inner conflicts and struggles become, as they are resolved, our greatest strengths. She's quite beautiful. And as you can see her holding, as it says, she holds us nice and tight. So again, moon, 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 right? Got the moon card explicitly. We have the moon here with the 3 of Pentacles, and then we have the moon with, we have Dorcha coming up with Epona's wild daughter, with growth when it comes to the moonlight and all of that. I'm going to continue to read. Epona's wild daughter, Dorcha, is the Sphinx, whose riddles must be answered lest we otherwise be destroyed by our own internal conflicts. Dorcha reminds us that we cannot go forward until we have faced something buried within us that is holding us back. Wasn't I just talking about that? Her presence in a reading tells us that finding and working through this task is of some urgency. So it's really important to recognize how far you've come, first off, to this point. Just in this 1 year, just up into this 11th Stargate this year. And for a lot of people, they didn't even know they were going through Stargates this year. They're just becoming aware of that. Even in the spiritual community, they only think of very specific months having Stargates, when there's Stargates every single month. Going from the first of the year with the chronological year with January. So we have the 1 gate to 110, 2 to 12, 3 to 13, so on and so forth, until we get to December with the 12 gate through 24. 22, sorry. Holy shit. 24. Okay, so her presence in a reading tells us that finding and working through this is a task of some urgency. So it's really important to like get real with yourself. Is what whoa. My chair got stuck. Oh my God. My cat's looking at me like, are you okay? I'm okay. Everything just got stuck on itself right here. And when I went to scoot up, it wasn't having it. At least I didn't fall and knock everything over. Oh my God, that would be horrible. It's just on this tiny little tail right here. Could happen, but it's not. It's not going to happen. Okay, where was I? Well, I'm going to continue reading. Let me just continue reading, because whatever I was going to say, it fell when I almost fell. We can expect help in this from other people, from the fairies, and from our dreams. But we must be open to these difficult questions and answers, and be ready to face things about ourselves that are not as we would wish them to be. She urges us to heal the unresolved issues about who we really are and what we truly want to be. This is part of the required course in Self-Transformation 101. So true. That we are all enrolled here on planet Earth. The answers to her riddles often come in a sudden burst of enlightenment, like the solution to a Zen koan. We must watch a leaf fall or catch a glimpse of a tiny sliver of the new moon in the sky and suddenly be hit by the answer. Before that happens, we usually work long and hard upon the question, searching and digging for an answer. The realization, when we really have it, will be transformative. We will no longer be the people we once were. You don't like this interpretation? Well, I have been telling you all along that we, you and I and everyone else, will all receive varying messages from the fairies and the cards. You may well differ from, yours may differ from mine. Ask Dorcha what message she has for you, and don't be surprised if her answer is another question or a riddle. She and I both wish you well in solving it with all our hearts. Okay, so this is definitely a theme here. Do you feel it? Do you see it? You know, positivity and not worrying and stuff like this, but we don't want to turn away from things that we need to transmute, the shadow, things in the shadow, things that we went through, dealt with, were a part of, that were maybe difficult or are still unresolved, maybe situations, relationships that you would have wished to have been different, or you wish you handled it differently or felt differently, because you do now. And that's kind of the whole thing. It's kind of like nobody that matters expects you to be always one thing, and you shouldn't expect that from yourself either. And a place and time was a place and time, and we move on from that unless we keep going back and recharging that energy, but not letting it go, just revisiting it and keeping it there alive, 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 alive. And this is why I have a very big issue with therapy, conventional therapy, is because people just talk about the same things over and over again, really feeding the energy of the problems that, or the issues, the situations, whatever that happened, without letting them go, transmuting them, which is really the clearing, the healing that needs to take place. This is what Dorcha, this whole thing is talking about. It's about transmutation. It's about when we complete the journey, we are transfigured and transformed, transcending our old selves. You're not the same person that you once were. And that can go from moment to moment, but definitely from Stargate to Stargate, from year to year, from the beginning of a Stargate to an end of a Stargate. I've seen major, massive changes and shifts in the world, in our universe, and collectively and individually. So we're in a constant state of this change. And really what's happening for you, Scorpio, with this, on this divine feminine side, and remember, for divine feminine, divine masculine, we're both of those things. So it's just really what we're leaning into with our divine feminine, divine masculine side, so we can kind of see what the other side is going through or dealing with, so we can feel into that for our own side and our own self, and really check in and see how that feels for us. But really what's going on with this, and it's also card number 54, it is a 9. This is the 9th, and we're also going by 3s here. So, and when it comes to this, like asking Dorcha a question, or what is, you know, when it comes to figuring ourselves out, sometimes it's like the easiest, most obvious answers are the hardest ones to see, are the hardest ones to answer, because it's so simple and it just gets overlooked by, in any way. You know, that's just I've seen it for my own self, and just kind of how things have gone, me figuring things out, how things work in the world at this point, and remembering stuff and getting downloads of information, and having to set aside so much of who I was and what I knew, what I thought I knew, and understanding that I didn't really, I just was told things and I accepted them as knowledge of truth and of reality, but it wasn't. And that could be said over and over and over again, in so many different ways at this point. And as we transition from being asleep souls to awake souls, and then connected souls, and go through the process of ascension, and especially getting these upgrades and downloads and encodements and the synchronicities happening, and the clearing and the healing and the connectedness, and how we're guided to and towards each other, to get information, to give information, to help each other in so many different ways, we are transforming. And these stargates are really these major boosts of light energy, helping us do that and taking us to a completely different place than we've ever been, collectively or individually as souls, incarnate or otherwise. So these are things that as divine incarnates, those of us who are part of the high council are working in certain ways, in certain aspects, in different dimensions, and in higher planes of existence, are fully aware of and have been working on for a very long time. And we're here in body to see these things through. In order to do that, we need to come online and get into a certain awareness with truths of what is going on, the reality of what of who and what we are. And once we start asking those questions sincerely and wanting the answers sincerely and being open to them, without barriers or walls, and deciding that we're going to let go of the matrix, of the construct of everything and how it was held together in our lives and in our consciousness and our reality. Because once you start pulling one thing apart or one thing away, understanding that wasn't real, this wasn't real, this is something else, and this is something else, and this is something, and you start to have such a different perspective, it all starts crumbling down. And that's a very free fall, surrendering, giving up. But it's so rewarding at the same time, because what you get in return of unlocking these channels of false information is the flow of actual truth, for yourself and for creation, reality, and everything else. So it's so important to dismantle yourself, to reconstruct yourself so you can move forward. And this is a big theme for you coming up right now. This can definitely, we've just started these readings, this can definitely be something that can be related to a lot of other people. But as we can see here with these cards, we're definitely talking about this time period, these energies. And I'm being told to backtrack just a little bit here. And I'm going to specifically grab and read directly from and see what comes out of Pentacles. Here we go. 3 of Pentacles, teamwork, functioning together as a unit, working together to achieve the goal, achieve a goal. Not everything can be accomplished solo. That is for your 3 of Pentacles. So as we're talking about this, coming into yourself, transfiguration, transcendence, transmutation, all this stuff is really saying, use the people that are around you that are incarnate and otherwise. It could be like wherever this was that I heard. Wherever it was that I read, this could come in different forms. So you have to ask your guides and guardians for help, and allow for that help to come in your ascension. I'm stuck. I need help. I'm confused about this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm hearing that it's about getting to the point of asking for assistance. Like, all you have to do is ask for help and you will get it. And even to do that is different for a lot of people than what they're used to doing. So it's remembering yourself and what you're going through, and that you you can't do it alone. You need help. You need help from people incarnate. You need help from your divine counterparts that are not in body but are very much connected to you. You need help. We're not meant to do this alone. And this whole thing with you, this coming together again, togetherness, partnerships, unity, that is about your own divine soul self coming together in divine union. And that's also about getting one step closer and one step closer to being in alignment with more people in this dimension, in this reality, not just close to your spirit tribe and you being more of a singular person, which a lot of people are. Okay, moving on. We are going to the Dragon Fae Oracle. So let's welcome in our divine, beautiful dragons. New Moon Fae. This is very moon heavy, isn't it? Isn't it? Card number 17, New Moon Fae, Soul Scrying. Totally, again, on point with what we're talking about here. You know, it says, I know the gate is on the full moon. It's moon, and it being a Stargate, it's a full moon energy, but because it's a Stargate, it's really amplifying energies for the new moon. So it's like this, it's really is this mirror effect of energy for the new moon that hasn't even happened yet. When's our new moon? And let's see what date that is. And why is this charging? Oh, there we go. Okay, our new moon is on the 26th. So just a couple days past the Stargate closing, we have our new moon. So here we go with New Moon Fae. So another moon card coming up here where I thought I had all of my, guess not. I meant to have all my books right there, but okay, card number 17, New Moon Fae. Soul Scrying. This is really similar. We'll say, okay, let's go here. New Moon Fae speaks. I rule myths and dreams which encapsulate truths about yourself in forms that you can work with. I rule creativity and the storyteller and that which enchants. I am imagination, instinctive wisdom, and archetypal energies and forms which cross cultural boundaries. I love the moonlight, and I know only too well that the light of the crystal one can mean madness or enlightenment. I am the enchanted stranger outsider, as are you, and so I understand when you feel you are not at home in this world. Sometimes I know you feel as if you are not a part of the mainstream, and you can feel isolated. Please remember that under the moonlight, you cannot see the full spectrum of colors, but you can often see between the worlds and deep into the true essence of all. Oh, 533, 534, but I was just reminded. Turn my music back on. Do not feel ashamed of your strangeness and your shadows. They can be beautiful and mysterious if they are loved, embraced, and owned, but something is missing and I have cast out a part of myself that I am now waiting to return. Like you, I am nearing a time of action where I must go in search of all of myself. But for this moment, I take solace in the reflections of this still and moonlit pool, and even in the stark lacework of the bare trees, I find truth and hope. You too have this quicksilver and primal energy, but I encourage you now to become practical, to deal with difficulties and separation, and to dissolve your fears through action, strength, and acceptance. However, do not shut out your own fears and intuition. What you resist and repress, this is one of my favorite lines of this entire book, you guys. What you resist and repress only regroups in the shadows and draws strength from denial. Instead, bring your fears out into the open and shine the sunlight upon them. Embrace all of who you are. Your accepted social mask can now be dropped. You may now incorporate the power of heightened psychic ability, which can be hard to communicate and read accurately. Do not despair. You will learn to understand and interpret your own psychic and symbolic language if you practice, as I am now, in this sacred pool. If you do not make a conscious effort, your unconscious will continue to do the work on your behalf anyway. You may be a psychic nighttime being with fragile but powerful abilities, but you are now also of the elements, and the Dragon Fae can teach you strength and give you the wisdom with which to use it well. Oh, I love this card so very much. About New Moon Fae. This lovely lost for the moment Dragon Fae maiden has no name, as she is yet to come home to her whole self. That always gets me so emotional because I think of people that are just like so close to that, and it just, oh God. But she is working on becoming whole, as are you now, and your true nature is being integrated into your social self. She is pining. It is that she is waiting for her dragon self to return so she can be whole. But she is also at a stage of new beginnings and is obsessing over what she does not seem to have. This is the card of a person who feels that part of their true self is no longer with them. And it speaks of the yearning that we can experience. While she is wistful, she has hope and will grow stronger over the coming moon cycle. She has powerful visions. This card often indicates that the listener will be able to cleanse themselves and feel at home near beautiful bodies of water. It is also the card of connecting more to moonlight and the subtle quicksilver light of the reflected sun. Okay, we're going to get more into that, but I'm going to finish this whole thing first. Divinatory meanings. You may be feeling abandoned at this time, or like a part of you, You may be feeling abandoned at this time, or like a part of who you are is missing. There we go. Wow. It can also indicate that you have been experiencing a false belief that all others do not like or accept you. In truth, when this card is revealed, it is that New Moon Fae wishes to indicate that you do not like and accept yourself, and that you may be choosing to hide from your own psychic ability and wild self. Your spirit visions shrouded by denial, withdrawal, deception, drinking, eating, sleeping to drown out your inner voice and ability. Fearful superstitions, feeling that your abilities are not godlike or God-given, guilt over psychic abilities and beliefs, dark night of the soul, expecting total clarity from visions, misunderstanding the nature of psychic work, longing, yearning, but inactive, sensation of drowning, memory problems, soul amnesia, period pain, water retention, tendency to turn to alcohol, food, or other substances to drown out psychic messages. It's a lot. Working with the New Moon Fae. Take yourself to a quiet place in nature and make a commitment to practice your meditations, your readings, your own techniques for connecting with spirit on a more regular basis, and particularly at the beginning of each lunar cycle. And know that you need moonlight as well as the beautiful brightness of sunlight. Moonlight will cleanse you and assist you in rebalancing gently and naturally. In this way, you will learn to trust the part of your soul you have misplaced. And in that trusted sanctuary, it can return to you. Remember, nothing is lost, and all that is truly yours shall return. What an amazing way to end the cards. We still got to grab some number, but this is just so powerful about this moon, about accepting of oneself, about clearing out the dark parts of that, you know, may be associated with denial, disbelief, shame, and judgment, with understanding the true self of who you really are, not in this body, but on a soul-based level, where you came from, what your history is, what you're doing here, and the acceptance of that, like we were talking about before, is a lot of deconstruction that needs to take place. And in order to do that, you have to fully decide to do that. So like the new moon Fae here, you know, saying that she or her also losing a part of herself. Like you, I am nearing a time of action where I must go in search of all of myself. But for this moment, I take solace in the reflections of the still and moonlit pool. And even in the stark lace work of the bare trees, I find truth and hope. So what I'm really hearing here to wrap this up is to really be intentional about your transition through the Stargate, to allow for the information, the energies, the activations, the messages, the symbols that will help you to understand more about yourself, that will help you to let go of things, that will help you to connect. So far, your messages are to go in nature, to connect with the moonlight, to be in awareness of your thought processes, to have crystal clear intention, to, and especially as a water sign through this Stargate, to get into water more. If it's not practical to do that outside, please try to do that more in your baths. And I'm seeing this even if you just have a shower, just getting a foot soak, getting a nice big tub of really nice hot water and putting some Himalayan rock salt, Epsom salts, Dead Sea salts into the water with some herbs and just whatever you can do to just kind of connect in that with the element of water to help connect you. That is like me being in my shower in my bath is where I do my hardcore meditations and stuff. Rosie, what's going on? She says, it's not like coughing, but it's not, it's just whatever. It's annoying. So just really full moon to new moon, just getting, I'm hearing just really getting in tune with the moon, understanding that if you are female, if you do have your period, to really pay attention to how it's going, or maybe even has already started to move with the cycle of the moon, to maybe come quickly, like you'll have a period and you'll have another period, maybe even for the full moon and the new moon. This has happened to me countless times as I've connected with the moon energy, and it has flipped and it has flopped to be more with new moon or full moon, and it really just depends what's going on, and so to connect with that, to understand that, and really just see the Stargate as a really transformative experience and situation for you and a time for you, and to really get the most out of it as possible, to, instead of trying to fill in the blanks like it's a test, to answer questions for yourself, just be open to what happens and be open to what may come up that needs to be resolved. This may be people coming back around. We are also in Mercury retrograde. So really through this Stargate, that could be amplified. So all of a sudden we could be getting a lot of like past stuff coming up. Like, what is all this shit? Like these people, these are coming up, whatever, just like different things. It could be in the form of television, movies, songs, hearing of places, hearing of people, whatever, these past things I'm feeling. Even though we're moving forward, we need, like we said, we need to dump. And if you're getting sick, it's a really good idea to do meditations, to definitely try to clear yourself out energetically, work with your chakras, listen to frequency music. If you can get any kind of Reiki energy work, or definitely work with yours truly to do what I do, which is really massive, major spiritual cleansing and healing sessions that I perform worldwide distance. So check out my website if you're being guided in that respect. And it's getting cold in here. I have to turn my heater. And you really need to make it a point to spend some time in the moonlight for this full moon. Even if you're outside and if it's overcast, just go for a walk. If it's cold, just bundle up and go for a walk and make it a point to go outside in this moonlight for the Stargate. That goes for everybody, but definitely I'm feeling that really intensely here. This is just our first reading, and this moon energy is so intense. It's really, really cool. So I'm really interested to see what happens after this. Okay, so now we're going to go to we're going to get straight into the cartomancy to grab 3 cards. These would be your number cards for the Stargate and maybe beyond. These could also be cards that have been coming up for you, or symbols that have been coming up for you recently. If you see them again, if you recognize these, definitely pay closer attention. Maybe Google them, look them up. Different combinations, mirrored combinations for these numbers. That's interesting. This is just the Joker card game. And what I'm hearing with that is this Stargate and energies falling and really intense. If you see, we've got the stars there with the circles, with the earth right here, and this just falling down. I love these Joker cards. They're very telling. It's really interesting that that's the card I pulled. Okay, let's try this again. There is one more Joker in there. At least there should be. It's the red Joker. We've got our King of Spades, so we can see that as a 10. We have an 8 of clubs, so we have 10 and 8, or 1 and 8. Also looking at your spade, looking at your K symbolism, your club, clover, I'm hearing. The sword of the king is also a symbol to look at there. Let me show you this again. Do a better job of that. Take a look at that card there. Anything that might pop for you. Then we have our 8 of clubs. I want to say clovers for some reason. So clovers keeps coming into my brain. So there you go. And 4 of hearts. So we have 4 of hearts, 8 of clubs. So 4, 8, 10. 4 is half of 8. So there you go. 8, 18, 4, 1, 0. Those would be numbers that are also the symbolism of the 8, which is also infinity. That coming through the mirrored aspect here of your 4s, 4 hearts. So that may be a thing for you. Okay. There we have it. So let's just wrap this up real quick. We have crystal clear intentions with Archangel Michael. Visualize abundance in all forms. We have the moon. We have the 3 of Pentacles. So the moon. I'm going to read about the moon, I'm being told. Okay, sure, why not? He wrote his wild daughter. More moon business. New moon, Faye, moon. Just so much moon energy. Let's real quick grab this and get into the moon. Oops. The moon. Okay. Vivid dreams and fears. In many ways, the moon card encompasses the idea of the wild unknown. It is the shadow realm, the place where dreams, fears, and mysteries are born. Much darkness can linger here, and if you aren't careful, this can lead to periods of anxiety and self-doubt, almost as though you've lost your way in a house of mirrors. Many great artists have roamed this inner landscape. It's where imagination, creativity drift freely upon the midnight air. Okay, so 2 things I'm getting from that coming at me now. Mirrors, mirrored numbers, what I just got done saying, the mirrored with a 4, also creativity, this thing with getting inspiration at night, be prepared to kind of have a shift in your, again, fluctuations in energy was one of the first things that I said. So that's also pertaining to your energetic body, your astral body, and when you need to be asleep, when you're going to be awake and up for creating. And so a lot of us are needing to, or getting those inspirations and those pings and those fancies of creativity and inspiration and inner understanding and all of that stuff that happens at night. We'll also wake up really early, or really like in the middle of the night between 3 and 4. That tends to happen to with us like crazy, and a lot of us will either be up till 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, or we'll go to sleep really early, because that's just depending on our schedule, and then we will wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning. So this could happen too, but I'm hearing just this increased need and desire to create, whether it's music, art, writing, journaling. It's just, you need to be in a creative space. It's going to very, very much help you, and you're going to be guided to do that. So if it's not something specific, then just look into various things that could be fulfilling to you. Okay. Wow, that was fun. Okay, so we're wow, 113:31. Wow, 113:31. I'm gonna write down timestamp so I don't have to do it later. I tend to not be good at that, and then afterwards I'm like, crap, I should have done timestamps. I lost the pen I just had. Okay, so Scorpio, we're ending at, what was 113:31. Of course it was. Okay. Well, this was fun so far, and I can see this is going to take a while. This is why I wanted to start way earlier today, but I didn't. So, okay, so now we're going to get into Scorpio Divine Masculine. We're going to jump right in here with our Angels of Abundance. I'm going to clear these cards. There we go. Dreams of abundance. Okay, Divine Masculine. We're talking to you. This is for the Scorpio Divine Masculine, for the Stargate. Dreams of abundance. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal because they may contain valuable insights that will help you manifest your desires into reality. So, more astral play, more meditation, and definitely if you're remembering your dreams at all, try to write them down or remember. Ask to remember, say you remember, ask for help to remember. Don't drive yourself crazy with this if it doesn't happen naturally. How beautiful this card is. I love this card. But pay attention to your dreams. Okay, moving on to Archangel Oracle. Clear these cards. Dreams of abundance. Yes, and please be aware, as we're dreaming, we are meeting with our guides and guardians, with ascended masters, with our higher soul selves. We're on mission here. So when we're on mission here, when we're in astral, is really the only time that we can unplug from this reality, plug into the higher dimensions, get information. And this is why our dreams are important, because these are the things we're remembering from those astral meetings in that astral time. It's not just random shit that's going on or just whatever types of information that's coming through dreams. It's actually the way that our brain is processing us being in another dimension or other, several, just really depending on what is going on with us. So, and it's also really important to note and to be aware of the fact that when you if you have questions that you want answers to, if you want to get to wake up with information, ask the questions before you go to sleep. And a lot of the time, I was doing this before I knew what I was doing for years and years. I would just be thinking about a question or wanting an answer to something, and I'd wake up and there would be my solution. I would always wake up in the morning and boom, there it was. I could be thinking about it and going nuts about it consciously all day long and never come up with an answer solution. I go to sleep, I wake up, and there you go. Here's our card. Remember who you are. Archangel Michael, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. Remember who you are. So, remembering your dreams. Remember who you are. Moving on. Wild Unknown Tarot. I want to light maybe some heat. Okay. 6 of Cups from the Wild Unknown. Got the moon and we got the sun. I'm hearing balance. Balance being a big thing. Needing more balance with this. Our divine masculine for Scorpio is in need of more balance. But again, we have moon imagery coming up here. Okay, see yourself as this center cup, I'm being told. See yourself right here. We've got the moon, the sun, and we've got this going on here. So the imagery here is the balance between the sun, the moon, the Stargate, being in the center of the Stargate and getting these energies for balance. So balance is a big thing here. Okay. This is what I'm hearing. And also nighttime activities, being awake at night. Again, that is a big thing. See this? See how that looks there? Okay, let's go to the next card. See what we got. Gorgeous kitty. Gorgeous kitty. 6 o'clock in the Pacific. And I don't want to seem like I'm rushing. I'm not rushing. I'm going as guided. I'm getting the information. I talk and I read as I'm told to do that. I get what comes and then I move on. And so some of these may be longer than others. It just really depends of what's coming out. And please keep in mind that any of these readings, if it resonates, if the information resonates for you, if you're watching it, please take it. If you're not a Scorpio, but you're like, oh my gosh, this is so what I needed to hear right now. There you go. You know, whatever. Five of Swords from Shadowscapes. So we have, I'm sorry, did I say 6 earlier? This was 7 of Cups. I think I said 6 of Cups. I meant 7 of Cups. And then 5 of Swords. Okay, so I'm feeling this expansion. Expansion, action, getting motivated, because you've been, and what I'm feeling is there's been this kind of like lull thing, and there's this like, now there's going to be this like, okay, I've been waiting for this motivational energy to come in to get me going. It's like there's so many things that it's just I've been so in my head, and now it's going to be about moving forward in a physical way, action wise, not just in my head thinking. This is what I'm getting from this card right here. Told to go to the book though and see what we see. And it's the tiniest little book that comes with these cards, which really cracks me up, but it's short and to the point. 5 of Swords, a sign of discord and conflict of interest. The choices make it easy to profit and look to one's own concerns, for it feels the world is aligned against you. So what I'm feeling with that is kind of more of like, it has felt that way. It's definitely felt that way. But a lot of that had to do with more of like your own perceptions, your own energy, your own, what you're kind of sending out. And really kind of like, I really just have wanted to be in a more like dark, solitary place. I'm kind of feeling that with this too. And coming out of that this is more of like the action out of that whole type of discord and chaos and conflict energy. That if anything, if you're going to be feeling that coming up, it's going to be just more like dealing with stuff you haven't dealt with before. And absolution, I'm hearing absolution. So some of this could be like your own actions, your own discord, your own outward projection of energies onto the universe and to other people, and you going, well, shit. I feel attached to these things, or I want to get past it, or there's shame or judgment or something connected to it in some way. And it's needing to get past that for yourself, like forgiving of yourself. I'm hearing a lot of that going on. Okay, being told to move on. Fairy Oracle. Once again, bringing in our Fae, our fairy counterparts. The Singer of Connection. Oh, what a great card. Number 6 card, Singer of Connection. Beautiful card. Okay. Singer of Connection. Spiritual connection, karma, balance, empathy. Remember we're talking about balance? Here we go. The singer supports all connections, the web of light between all beings, all particles, and between past, present, and future. It brings wholeness to apparent duality and combines all energies, uniting all that was, is, or could be. When we lose awareness of this connection in our lives, we feel isolated, lonely, bereft, yet the energy is there. Are we just talking about this? We only need to be open to it. Exactly what we were saying before. Transitioning from this one thing to another. That type of energy. There are emotions that help us open up: love, compassion, trust, and so on. There are other emotions that we tend to close down around unless we make a special effort to keep our hearts open. As you can probably guess, these emotions are feelings such as jealousy, anger, fear, grief, and other of a similarly painful nature. Yet, sometimes these very emotions, when carried to the extreme, cause us to break down and then break through to the song of ecstasis. This is a risky way to go, as well as an extremely difficult one, because more often the breakdown just stays broken for a long time, and then we retreat back to a more crippled version of our original selves. So sometimes people say, well, I'm on this really shitty, depressed, or addictive, self-destructive behavior, and at some point I'm going to reach rock bottom, and then I'll build myself back up. But sometimes the rock bottom just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, because each time it just gets worse and worse and worse, and there's no real conscious effort in transcendence of circumstances. So very risky way to go, and very passive. And not the way to enter into a Stargate or a full moon or new moon or any of these things that we're dealing with. And so you want to be open to transformation and an integral part and very intentional about your transformation as well. Okay, a far better way to become ever more aware of our essentially holistic nature is to work at keeping our hearts open, seeing relationships being earthed and centered and connected. In a meditation, someone, and I suspect it was this singer, asked me to let go of all of my defenses. I argued that surely we needed defenses in this world in order to survive. It was firmly but lovingly told, it is only by letting go of all of your defenses that you become truly invulnerable. It's very true. Because if you're on the defense, then you're afraid of something. If you're afraid of something, then you're not as strong as you can be, because you know that there's nothing to be afraid of, really, truly. So by letting go of your defenses, you open up and you receive instead of reflecting away and being defensive with energies. It is only by letting go of all of your defenses that you become invulnerable. That gave me such a strong shock of recognizing the rightness of it that I couldn't even breathe for a moment. It's true. It's so simple. Like we said before, sometimes the simplest solutions to an issue is right there, but so hard to see. And we feel like we need to be and do certain things because that's just what it is. But when we flip it around, a lot of times we don't have a need to do any of those things. It's just conditioning, habitual reactions. Okay. But then, still reluctant because it sounded like a big job, I muttered that I didn't think I knew how to do that or even what all my defenses were. I was assured kindly that I would receive help if I asked for it. And I know that you will be given the same aid too. So yeah, sometimes we don't know what all of our triggers are, all of our defenses, what all of our fears are until we're faced in the situation and we go, oh shit, I'm afraid of this, or I've got issues with this, or I'm not as strong as I thought I was, or whatever, and then they come up. And sometimes we're fully aware. A lot of people are very self-aware and they know exactly what their fears are and can really well pinpoint what their fears are, why they're there, where they came from, what is energizing them, and how to release them are the questions that you need to ask the singer of connection. So, and your guides and guardians in general to help you get to the root and dig it out and transcend it and transmute it. Okay. Through the power of this singer, all connections are made, held, and released as appropriate. In a reading, the singer indicates the connection of things, especially reconnecting those that have been sundered. It is unifying and reunifying. It tells us that we need to be aware of the connections between different aspects of the issue under discussion, as well as the connections between people linked by it. We also may need to build more connections and network of mutual support. So, perspectives. Seeing from different perspectives, understanding yourself and others and the world and the universe and creation from different perspectives is extraordinarily healing because it allows for space and it's not just you. You're looking outside of yourself. And it's another message here about connecting, outside connections. Like this, what I said here, when I saw this card, it was, okay, we're we're moving forward. We're in action. We're not just sitting here thinking about this stuff anymore. And to be in action, a lot of times we need support. We need help from our guides, from our guardians, from people incarnate, and so on and so forth. The presence of the Singer of Connection inner reading indicates support and strength flowing through the connections between those involved. So if you have people in your life that there are connections, or you're making connections, or you're being drawn to certain things and people and aspects or situations, there are connections there that are being strengthened for support for yourself, for them in general. Okay. The present. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, we're done there. That was it. That was it for that. Okay. Singer of Connections is making a connection, letting go of defenses, asking for help, understanding the connection of all things, the web of life, that whole thing. Okay, next. Dragon Fate Oracle. Whoop. The Lovers at the Feast. These cards are huge and not the easiest to shuffle, but I really like shuffling cards. I feel like I look so awkward when I do that. Card number 23, the Lovers at the Feast. You know, if I see another 23 today, it'll be like the millionth 23. Me personally. Lovers at the Feast, conscious, aware eating. So this is about cleaning yourself up, diet form. This is a great card. The Lovers at the Feast, conscious, aware eating. The Lovers at the Feast speak. You are being sent a very strong message by the Dragon Fae, the goddesses, and indeed all that is to take your healing into your own hands. This does not mean rejecting traditional Western medical practice. It means investigating dietary components that may be compromising your perfect health. Nurturing food with organic, fresh, and wholesome ingredients will be of great benefit to you at this time. You are healing yourself when you investigate this type of medical approach. Food has magical qualities and is an amazing healer. Please investigate which healing foods would be best for your own needs, your individual system at this time. So, sensitivities to foods, needing to eat less complex, heavy foods, needing to have more of a plant-based diet is definitely going to be part of the regimen through the Stargate. You're just going to be extra sensitive to stuff like meat, if you're still eating meat, stuff like cheeses or dairies, too much sugar, too many processed things, stuff like that. The time you take in preparing such foods will nurture your own self-love, which will come full circle as improved energy, vitality, emotional stability, and strength. Increased capacity for joy and better sleep. Warm foods in particular will be of help to you. So make yourself a nice pot of stew. Would be really good to have, and just keep it simple during this time. When you care for yourself, the rest of the world follows suit. Set the example for how you wish to be treated by treating yourself with love, respect, and building the foundations of strong health. The stronger your physical body, the more spirit will be able to reach you, as you will be a clear and perfect vessel. Sharing meals with loved ones at this time will also be very healing for you. Look directly into their eyes whilst eating together and share what needs to be said and then watch for the miracles. We feel at this time that your food may not be supporting you and that you are not choosing the energy with which you create your life wisely. Please reconsider your choices if you abuse food, excuse me. Eat excessive amounts of chocolate, dairy products, and foods laden with pain and toxins like meat. Sometimes we experience a great deal of resistance to the notion that eating can be medicinal. Yeah, a lot of people have a hard time with their food and letting go and understanding that it can either be very toxic or very healing. Please take steps to learn for yourself about food and what may work best for your own body. We have learned that after a seeming famine, a feast will come. After periods of loneliness and hardship where we each worried so about our needs, how our needs will be met, we have experienced renewed joy and the truth that we are amply provided for by this beautiful green and blue planet called Gaia. Okay, about the lovers at the feast. How often are we led to the table of delights in this world only to turn away from all of the blessings that are offered, claiming there is nothing there for us? Here, the lovers at the feast have returned to a place where they will eat well in an environment filled with love and where each is cherished by the other and by the bounty of Gaia, which we often call simply food. The feasting is the bounty of the planet, the blessings of abundance, and the care for our every need that we so often experience and yet deny. The lovers have come full circle from a time of lack to knowing that caring for each other, eating well, loving the planet, and feasting are blessings indeed. They have come to see that their needs are always met and they are truly loved. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Okay, divinatory meanings. A time of happiness and well-being after a lean time. Eating well, understanding that food is energy and that this energy becomes our body, extending out into our energetic field and influencing what we attract into our lives. In many ways, this card indicates that we must not only eat with joy and relish, but we must understand that the healing power that food brings to the body. Food is medicine. Food can heal and food can harm. Make your choices one that is life affirming. Working with the lovers at the feast. Eat well with your loved ones, family, and friends. A time to change your diet. Go back to eating seasonal foods, slow cooked, raw, fresh, and delicious. Be conscious that everything you put into your mouth becomes a part of you and your energy. Assess what you eat on this basis. Eat widely and well and ensure your food has abundance, chi, energy of the life force. So live food. So anything that's processed is not going to be alive. So your live foods are going to be fruits and vegetables. I'm also hearing to please take stock of fast food, processed food, stuff like that. Again, it's about balance. So it's getting in balance with like the naughty food, and it's okay to have that sometimes. But again, during this time, this came up a couple times in this reading about the sensitivities to food and being more sensitive during the Stargate. So this is really something to pay attention to. Don't just be like, oh, well, I ate, and now I don't feel good, and I don't know why. Just pay attention. And I'm also hearing alcohol. So really try to downgrade your alcohol intake. If you're drinking alcohol still, please slow that down. Don't drink alcohol or just a little bit. It's going to affect you way more. Not like so much the buzz part of alcohol, but how difficult it's going to be on your body to process the poison out, because that's what alcohol is. It's just poison. There's no redeeming qualities to alcohol. I say this a lot. if you want to catch a buzz, smoke some weed. It's not, or eat an edible. It's so much better for you than alcohol. So that's something that's really coming up right now. There's a real need to stop with the alcohol. Or if you have stopped with alcohol for a period of time, like some people did Sober October, and then they started drinking again just because that's what they do and they're feeling like shit again, please remember how good you felt when you stopped drinking, and maybe decide to do that again, especially for this Stargate. That's a big one. Okay, moving on to your number cards. Oh, there's one. Let's see what that is. Oh my goodness. Why can't I pick it up? 5 of clubs. I got 5 of clubs. 4 of hearts. So again, with this 4 of hearts, 5 of clubs, 4 of hearts. Again, I'm feeling mirrored energy, divine connections, mirrored energy. 5 and the 4 is also a 9. Today is a 9. Just making connections here. And another 4. 4 of spades. So we have 5, 4, and 4. 4 is coming in strong. Sequence numbers, 5 and 4, 9s, 8. Mirrored numbers. Reverse with the hearts and the spades. Clubs also being 3s. So 3s being a thing. See how this goes. So just kind of let yourself fall down that rabbit hole. Let yourself go and fall down that rabbit hole. For your numbers here, 5, 4, and 4, 8, 5, mirrored numbers, mirrored in general, balance. Again, the balance, I'm hearing balance coming through. So let's wrap this up. Pay attention to your dreams. Do more meditation. Take notes. I'm hearing automatic drawing, writing, stuff like that, that will also help bring about your remembrances of what's going on in your astral dream state. Remember who you truly are and how powerful you are and the abundance of help that you have with and around you. We have this balance card of the 7 of Cups. Remember, see yourself as this going on here. And you're going to be kind of like this. Fluctuations kind of going on a little bit with what's happening. But you're in the center there. So just kind of get with that energy. But again, we have the moon. Moon coming up here straight away. Our first card, moon on top. Directly talking about our Stargate with our divine masculine for Scorpio. Going into the 5 of swords. So we also got the 5 with our numbers there. So action, balance, motivation, connectedness with people, friends, family, things coming up maybe from the past, maybe reuniting with old friends that you haven't seen in a very long time. Everybody's in a very different place at this point. And then we have the Singer of Connection, card number 6. Remembering how all things are connected, letting go of defenses, fears, trying to figure out and unpack what that is, talking about true healing, really working on your diet. This is an excellent time if you're thinking about going vegetarian or vegan to just lock that down and go for it and forego things that you know that you've been eating that aren't the best for you, that don't work for you anymore, regardless of how long you've been eating it, how much you love it, or eating or drinking it. you're becoming a different person. Your body is a different body than it used to be as you're getting upgrades, and it will revolt. It will not feel good. So pay attention to those things. And the more that you're in denial or resistant to these things, the harder it's just going to be on you. And your body will start to backtrack in its forward motion in all of these ways that have to do with ascension, because there isn't that balance there. It's like you may be saying, oh, I want to progress. I want to get more spiritual. I want to get more healthy. I want to have more connections. I want to be more psychic. I want, but then your lifestyle isn't supporting it. And there needs to be a balance that supports it. And if your lifestyle does support it, then lean more into that. Get more serious about it. It's just about leveling up. Because if you've already done this stuff, you're like, yeah, I've been there, done that, all that stuff. Okay, well, now it's time to get regimented. Now it's time to really lean into it. Really, like one of the cards said, really make it a point to buckle down about this stuff. Because you're the only one who can do it. It's your ascension. It's your spirituality. It's your life. It's your mission. And it's time to get regimented and get like on a schedule with things for some of us. So there we go. So through the Stargate, please think about balance, and remembrance is a big thing here. Balance, remembering, clearing, getting things in order physically. Again, the whole thing with, possibly getting sick also applies to you, unfortunately. And if it does, you want to work on your chakras too. Same thing there. Okay, so because this is... it's just impossible to do these readings and have them be 10, 15 minutes long like I was hoping that they would be. That's not happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this, this reading or this video now, and I'm probably just going to make separate videos because I think they are going to be long as we go from divine masculine, divine feminine for each of these. It's just not one reading. So it is kind of a lot. So, and I'm starving. I need to stuff to eat to continue. Up next is going to be, what's up next? Sagittarius? Yep. Up next is Sagittarius. That is my sun sign. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do that in our next video. But for now, I'm going to turn on some heat. I am going to eat something, and I'm going to be back here for my next video, Divine Feminine and Masculine for Sagittarius. And I hope that this video for Divine Feminine and Masculine, the water sign of Scorpio, was helpful to you. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of videos that are released, and stay tuned also for that astral meditation coming as well. And for now, I bid you adieu. Don't forget, the key is to create infinite love, light, and blessings. And I love you already, family. I'll see you soon. Bye.